In this video, we are going to talk about Monad, some of its recent price action, as well as the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect Monad's price to go in the coming days and weeks. So we'll start by looking at the 1 hour chart. The structure for Monad on the weekly chart, which I usually look at, is really unclear. It is a really new coin. There's not a lot of price history on the chart, and the coin is just so volatile that there really isn't any structure at all on the weekly chart. So we'll have to look at the 1 hour chart. And what I can see right here is that in the last few days, we have had a very clear downtrend, very clear lower highs as well as lower lows. But I think that we may potentially have started a reversal. If we connect these previous highs, as you can see, in the last hour, it seems like we may have broken above this trend line. Of course, this is still very early to conclude anything, but it is looking pretty promising. This hourly candle is very large. It is a very volatile move to the upside, and it seems like we are starting to break above this trend line and potentially start a reversal. This also makes a lot of sense because we have just hit in the last day this previous low from a couple of weeks ago. So we first reached the support area, and then from there broke above this trend line. So these are two very good signs that we might be starting a structure reversal. For this reversal to really be confirmed, we would need to price to go above this previous high at about 3 cents. If we do cross above it, then this would confirm the reversal and that we are starting a new structure of an uptrend. So in the short term, it is looking pretty promising for Monad in my opinion, but I will still say that in general, I think that most altcoins will likely underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, at least for the next few weeks. I think that for most altcoins as a whole to start outperforming and do well, we need to first see Bitcoin and Ethereum doing very well, approaching new all-time highs. And right now, this is very far away from the reality. Bitcoin is still well below 100K, very far away from its all-time high of about 126K. Ethereum in a very similar situation, very far away from its all-time high. And there is a lot of fear in the market right now. There is a lot of concern of a bear market. And for most altcoins to start actually doing well, we would first need to see the larger coins, especially Bitcoin, doing very well. We need to see retail coming back to the market, which historically only really happens when we see Bitcoin getting parabolic moves. So of course, there can be some exceptions. And in the short term, I think that Monad could definitely be one of those exceptions that actually performs very well and rallies despite the rest of the crypto market not doing so well. But I think that most altcoins will likely underperform Bitcoin and not do so well. I am expecting Bitcoin to probably form a higher low or potentially a double bottom sometime in the next few days. We've had the local low for Bitcoin at about 80K and then a rally to over 90K and then a bit of a dump back down to about 85K. So I think that if Bitcoin can stay at that area, stay above 80K and continue its rally from there, then there is a very good chance that at least in the short term, this will correlate to Monad getting the price reversal, getting its support from this area and breaking the downtrend and getting a very nice rally, very likely all the way up to this area of about 4 to 5 cents, where we've had some resistance in the last week, or potentially even breaking above that, especially if Bitcoin starts doing very well and getting all the way up to 100K, then it is very much possible for Monad to actually break above this previous high. Of course, Monad is a very small market cap, very volatile and risky coin, so I would definitely suggest to be careful with it. But in my opinion, the structure of it is looking pretty promising if we can actually see the confirmation of the price reversal and we start seeing a new structure of higher highs and higher lows, then this would probably be one of the best looking structures for an altcoin in my opinion. And this is honestly not looking too bad at all, considering how poorly most of the crypto market has been doing recently, especially with some altcoins doing so poorly, some of them even getting to new all-time lows. But as I said, I would still be careful. I would generally avoid being heavy into altcoins. Of course, this is not financial advice, but as I said, I'm expecting most altcoins to not do so well compared to Bitcoin, regardless of if Bitcoin goes up or down, but especially if it goes down and we enter a bear market, some altcoins could get absolutely brutal dumps. And if Monad actually fails to get a price reversal and breaks down below this support area, getting below 2 cents, then that would be very bad. It could be absolutely devastating for the price of Monad and lead to it getting much lower. But yeah, right now it's looking pretty decent. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Monad as well as other altcoins and the entire crypto market, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.